Hi everyone, how have you all been? How's your week been? Ooh, harshly critical as it is today's his birthday. Oh, happy birthday, buddy. Hope you had a great birthday. Well, I hope you're having a great birthday. It's the end of the day here in the UK, so to me it seems like it's the end of the day. It seems like it's just the start of yours, I'm assuming. Mr. P. Shrek for over our hold my beer. I had a good old timeline universe story. Yeah, we'll read those kind of comments later. So, how's everything been? Good to see you again, Jess, G Gamer, IS71. Great to see you join another stream. Superman Elite. Yeah, Elite, it's December already. Shocking that, time has gone by that quick. Crazy Cat Lady, who, as I've always said, is a very nice cat lady, has done a donation. She's done a £3.92 donation through Streamlabs. Thank you very much, beautiful cat lady. Let's see. Let me write that down. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. She says, going to see Wicked, so can't stay long. I hope everyone's good. Hope everything's good. Oh, you're going to go see Wicked. Oh, okay, cool. Hope you enjoyed the movie. I still haven't seen that yet. Yeah, things have been good, and it's always great. It's always great for me when I'm seeing you guys. You guys know how much I love seeing you every single week, so that's great. JWK Miles, it's great to see you as well. Fireboy. Miles says, I can't believe it's the end of the year. Time flies by. It really does. Last year, I can't remember, was it last year when I did my Let's Watch of The Grinch on my Patreon? Because I covered 2 Grinch movies that year. I was going to do 3, but the third one, the recording didn't happen, so I just did the Versus video. And I did the Let's Watch on Patreon. If that was last year, then wow, yeah. It feels like a long time ago, and it doesn't feel like it's as long at the same time. The G Gamer goes, I saw your Moana movie reaction and no spoilers on Patreon, but there's a joke you made with the director that made me laugh. Oh, you mean on my extended Patreon version, the uncut version? Yeah, there's more jokes and, observations and reviews and things that are on the Patreon version. So, yeah, you're definitely going to want to, as I've said, you're definitely going to want to keep, if you're on Patreon, stay on Patreon, because I'm going to have a lot more content coming on Patreon. And there is more content coming to the channel, but if you want the full version of that content, like the Moana Let's Watch, where I was watching it for the first time, then Patreon is the place you're going to want to go. It supports me, and I always like to give you guys something back in return. So you're going to get, trust me, you're going to get a lot more on there. Even on movies that you've wanted me to watch and review, you're going to get the reactions there. And there's another movie regarding a certain hedgehog that's coming out in a couple weeks' time. So if you're on Patreon, then you'll know what I'm talking about, what it is that I'm referring to. But I've got something coming up there as well. So yeah, the Moana watch-along that I did, that was on Patreon. It was on Patreon first before it comes to YouTube. So on Patreon, you get it early, you get it first, and you get it in full. So I definitely recommend you go there, because I have to really edit it down for YouTube for obvious reasons. So Elite says, only movie that I want to see. Yeah, it's the only movie I want to see as well. And it says Elite has been a member for 3 months. Does that say, Elite, does that say that you've been a member for 3 months, or that you signed up for 3 months? I'm still getting used to the whole membership notifications here. The Logman, great to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining the stream. We've got a lot to talk about on this stream, so glad you were able to make it. Robin says, the only movie I'm looking forward to at the end of the year is Nosferatu. Ooh, that's a movie which could potentially be interesting. I'm not overly, keen on the trailer, but I think the movie could be cool. Gregory says, who is your favorite anti-hero in fiction? Mine is Batman. Yeah, mine is Batman too. He's like my #1 favorite character in many things, including superhero. Even though he's an anti-hero, he's also my favorite superhero. So yeah. Elite says, been for 3 months. I think this YouTube memberships is new to me. Yeah, it's new to me too, so that's why I'm still sometimes confused when I'm reading through it. Ethan's Drawings, great to see you too, buddy. He says, also, Eric, there's speculation going on that Sonic 3 is going to beat Mufasa at the box office. I've talked about that. I've said that it's going to beat Mufasa at the box office, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And yeah, I really can't wait to see that movie. When I watched Moana 2 recently, I actually saw the trailer to Sonic 3 in there again. And there was even a woman in there in the cinema who says, I really want to see that. It's when the trailer ends and you see Jim Carrey run towards Santa. You know, a Jim Carrey-fied Santa. So yeah. That's going to be a big movie. I'm looking very forward to that. Sarah has joined the chat. Sarah, hi. Thanks for joining the chat. When I did my recent Moana video, where I talked about Moana 2, I got all the list of patrons and I saw your name there. I think it was there before, but this is the first time where I actually really noticed it because I was going through the list and for some reason I saw it this time. So thanks again, Sarah, for being a Patreon member. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all of you that become patrons because you guys really help keep the show going, and I still need to get more patrons to keep it going to the level that I need to get it at. But it's nice to see all you guys joining Patreon right now, especially because I've got, like I said, more content coming, especially for the Let's Watch, for the first time watching videos. Khan says, Eric, did you see Doom Blazers commenting one of your videos? If so, what are your thoughts? Doom Blazer, who's that? Did someone comment on my which video did they comment on? Give me a second, let me have a look. Okay, let's see. Someone who's gonna ask, but is Moana 2 woke or no? The G-Gamer goes, quality aside, I know someone who is gonna ask, but is Moana 2 woke or not? No, it's not woke. It's not particularly good or high quality, but it's definitely not woke. You could tell Disney are trying to move away from that because they made so much money with Inside Out 2 after moving away from it consciously, so now they're gonna move away from it for sure. £1.57 Streamlabs chat from Yako. Yako, it's great to see you, buddy. Thank you very much for the donation. Yako says, hey Eric, it's me, Yako. It's been a long time. How does it feel? 1 year streaming, huh? Oh, it has been a year now, hasn't it? Man, I've been doing streams every other week, except for here or there if an emergency came up. But man, to do live streams for as long as I have, wow. It's been a long time. I'm personally looking forward to Kraven because it's R-rated and Sonic 3. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to watching Sonic, but not Kraven. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll cover Kraven when it comes out. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, by the way, Yako, for the Streamlabs chat. I always say I appreciate these Streamlabs chats when you guys do them, so thank you very, very much. Alright, where is Gregory? Gregory's telling me he's a toxic Marvel defender who me and my Discord buddies hate, and he's made a comment on your recent video. I think I did get one, you know. Give me a second. I think I did get a comment from someone who was not complimentary and was saying, so what, to me. Someone said to me, so what? Like, you know, you act like you've seen the movie and you know it. And I'm like, that's not what I said when you watch the video. What you've seen is me saying, I don't trust Marvel. And that's perfectly fine to say you don't trust them after they've got a certain track record. So there's nothing wrong with me saying that. And yeah, I remember one person was a bit aggressive in terms of trying to say that, oh, you're just one of those kind of people. But judging by the sounds of things, it sounds like he is one of his kind of people. So, yeah. IS71 says, I feel like Kraven is either going to be surprisingly good or unsurprisingly horrible. Yeah, one of the two. Batman's Gamer says, Doomblazer, that bastard mate. I'm Australian. Sarah says, everyone has an opinion. The only thing that matters is what you do with that opinion. I agree, Sarah. I agree with you, Big Bash. Big Bash says, Marvel needs to earn our trust back through hard work and effort. That is very true. Eric, did you hear that the reason why Red One cost so much to make was because The Rock was constantly late and even absent, completely on set? I would be surprised if that is what actually made the budget balloon up to what it was. That's because that budget went incredibly high, insanely high. Too high, I'd say. Okay, Kevin says, has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Kevin. He goes, you wish Margot Robbie smacked Gaga off stage, and why? I don't wish she smacked her off stage. What? Am I missing something? I think Gaga did a good job, but at the same time, her character didn't really do much of anything. And I think that's really down to Todd Phillips, what he wrote for her. Or what he let in the movie. But I just think the whole movie, there's a problem with it. So, I don't know. I think Margot Robbie did a good job as Harley at the beginning, but then as the more she went on, the worse she got, is what I think. So yeah, especially in the Birds of Prey movie, I think she was the worst there. Because they just tried to make her a good guy and copied too much of Deadpool. And let's see, what was the other thing? Jess, who's done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Jess, for the super chat. Really appreciate it, buddy. He says, hey Eric, how come you don't mind Godzilla as a good guy? How come you don't mind Godzilla as a good guy, but not the Sony Spider-Man villains? I'm going to see Kraven, and it's going to be my first R-rated in cinema. Cool. Hope you enjoy that as your first R-rated movie. My first R-rated movie in the cinema was the 2013 Evil Dead, I think. No, that was not my first. No, that was my first 18 rated. My first 15 rated, it was Expendables. The first Expendables, and I really enjoyed it. Then it was Predators. Let's see. Let me see. What was the other question that you had? Right. Godzilla being a good guy is not a huge deal because in his original source material, he is also a good guy. And I grew up with the Godzilla cartoon where he was a good guy. And that continued off of the 98 movie, the American Godzilla. So I don't mind Godzilla as a good guy for that, but they have a good balance usually. With the superheroes, there's a lot more you can do with the story, and you need the villains to basically be the villains, because Venom is a hero in some, like an anti-hero in some of the comics, but most of them, he's the villain, and that's what he's successful for, that's what he's known for. So to change that out when it's not worked, and clearly it hasn't, it's not gone mainstream to the way they want it to, and the Venom movies have gone down in the overall box office from movie to movie. So that kind of tells you right there that he's not successful as a hero as he would have been if he was a villain. Just look at, and I prefer him. I far prefer him as a villain. So does the majority of everyone else. And also, Sony are not smart with turning him into a good guy or an anti-hero. They're just dumb with it, and we all know Sony are dumb with it. If you watched The Penguin recently, that was incredibly smart with it. And if you watch the first Joker movie, that was also smart with it. But when you watch a lot of the stuff that the MCU or the Sony Marvel movies are doing, they're not smart. They're just playing it dumb. So that's what I really don't like about it when they do that. Elite says, my first R rating is Deadpool and I had fun with the movie. That's an interesting thing to bring up. What is all of your first R rated movies in theaters? Do you remember what your first R rated movie was? Drop your answers in the comments, in the chat. Oh, no, she was, hang on. Let me know in the chat, and then what I will do is move on to the stories. Jack Jean said, The Predator. I am so sorry to hear that. Predators was the one that I saw, the third Predator movie. That was the... First was Expendables, then it was the Predator movie, which I saw. That was my my second rated R movie in theaters. So I'm sorry to hear that the one that was not really like a proper R-rated movie, but was more of a comedy, was the one that was your first foray into the R rating. Let's see. Deadpool 2, Joker, Rec 2, a Spanish horror movie, or that vampire movie, 2013. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad says, Logman. Oh, interesting. Deadpool says, Eric, you think Disney is only releasing Mufasa on the same day as Sonic 3 to get Pepper to watch Mufasa over Sonic 3? To get what? To get people to watch Mufasa over Sonic 3. Oh, that's what you're saying. I don't know, because these release dates are usually planned a long time in advance, so maybe they genuinely thought they would... Because Disney, I think, have always had a movie come out near Christmas, like they have with Thanksgiving, so I think they must have thought to themselves, yeah, we'll be able to take that spot like we always have, but they did not see Sonic 3 coming. So that's what I think is going on there. It Chapter 2, says Big Bash. Cool. I think my younger brother, his first R-rated movie, I think, was also It Chapter 2. My younger brother, I think, if I remember correctly. Mine was Halloween 2018. Oh, cool. Yako, the incredibly kind and generous Yako, has also donated £1.57 again on Streamlabs. Thank you very, very much, buddy. He says, I'm currently trying to catch up on all your content. It's been rough for the past few months. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope things are getting better. Speaking of Godzilla, I'm working on a Godzilla X Kong Christmas fan film titled Godzilla X Kong The Festive Awakening. I might also do a Venom fan film soon. Oh, cool. Send it over to me once you've done it. I'll give it a look. Is the UK release date different for Sonic 3? Yes, Ethan's drawings. Now, that is a big shame. When I saw Moana 2 in theaters recently, and like I said, the Sonic trailer showed up, unfortunately, it showed a different release date to the release date that was happening in America. So for me, the movie's coming out, I think, a whole week after it comes out for you guys. So you're going to have to bear with me for when I review that. That really is a shame that I can't see the movie with you, at the same time as you guys and get the review out. So you're going to have to be patient and wait for me. Good Time says, I can't donate on Streamlabs. What's happening? I don't know. That's bizarre. You should be able to. Let's see. Who else has done it? Crazy Cat Lady, I think, is gone to watch Wicket now, so I don't think she can tell you what she did. But it should be very simple and straightforward. I tried doing a donation through Streamlabs, and it was so simple to do. I'm surprised if it's having any problems. That's bizarre. If it can't do it through Streamlabs, Good Times, and you've tried and it still won't do it, then try to do it through the YouTube Super Chat, maybe. Gregory says, what's your favorite James Cameron movie? Mine is Avatar 2 by far. My favorite James Cameron movie is a toss-up between Terminator 2 and Aliens. It might actually be Aliens, I really do love Aliens. I watched it again a month ago, 2 months ago, something, and yeah, I really do love that. Avatar: The Way of Water is my favorite, says Jess. Good Times. Good Time. You can't click the donate button. Do you mean with the link that I've put on the super chat you can't click? Because I've also got the link in the description as well if you want to try to click it that way. Or maybe it's... I think I know what you're talking about when you're saying it doesn't let you hit the donate button. Ah, yeah. Put a username in. Let me see. Let's click this. It won't. Yeah, put a username in. Then it should work. It says username. You got to put a username there, and if that still doesn't work, then when it says your message here, click that, and then put something in there, and it should work. Crazy Cat Lady has now done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Crazy Cat Lady. You're actually, I've always said this, you're a very nice cat lady, not a crazy cat lady. She says, going to see Wicked, so can't stay long. I hope it's good, and going to do some Christmas shopping. I won't Streamlabs, it won't let me, sorry. Oh, you want Streamlabs, but it won't let you. Oh, it won't. That's bizarre, it won't let you. It let you do it for the first time. Oh, that's bizarre. I don't know what Streamlabs is playing at. Okay, I hope you enjoy your movie, Crazy Cat Lady, and thank you very much for donating to me through, if it didn't work through Streamlabs, thank you for doing it through the Super Chat. I really appreciate that. That's bizarre. Good Time says I did everything. It still doesn't work. Huh. That is weird. Yoko has done it twice. Crazy Cat Lady has done it. Now Crazy Cat Lady can't do it. It's weird. Eric, what is your favorite meme in all these live streams? Mine with the alternate Spider-Man titles. Yeah, I think that was fun. That was definitely fun. Elite said I had a Streamlabs problem while I was donating. Really? Man, what is going on with Streamlabs right now? That's so weird. Is it the amount? It doesn't like the amount going in? Is that what it is? I don't know. Okay, if that doesn't work, you could try again. If it still doesn't work, then try doing it through super chats if you want to have your messages displayed, and I can read them clearly that way. Good time says maybe because you can't do anything under 1. Is that what you're doing? You're doing something under 1. Okay, try doing just 1 then and see what happens. It's entirely up to you if you want to do that, but try to give that a go. It must have some donated amount set up for you. Click the first one, do that, and if that doesn't work, then it's a problem. But if it does work from the pre-selected ones, then that means that that will fix the problem. All right, is there a movie this week for a goal? That's a very good question because I was literally just about to move on to the stories, but I guess now we can I could show you the status of this right here. So this is basically what we were doing originally, the Edward Scissorhands review. If we got to £130 through Streamlabs, then, you know, we'd be able to do the review. You guys would get a bonus review, and it will be of Edward Scissorhands. But seeing as you know, we've had this going on for about 2 weeks now, I think we're gonna just end this particular goal right here. So I'm gonna just cancel this goal right here, right now, and we'll just say that it's done at this point. All right, everyone, that's the update with this because it's not really been moving along, has it? So that's okay. Like I said, we don't have to do one every single week, so I'll save it for next time when I do another. Great, you've joined the stream, Rohan. 3 and over works. Good times. Okay, give that a go. If that works, you can put your questions on there, and then I'll answer them. So that's a bizarre thing. Elite says, I think it has a payment problem. How much were you donating, Elite? Because Good Times here says 3 and over works. So what did you do under 3? Is that what you were doing, and then it didn't work? Let me know so I can see if I can figure this out. Okay. Josh, man, it means I'm not gonna do a review on Edward Scissorhands. I think that time has gone. I mean, I've still got the goal thing here. So if by the end of this stream, some miracle, if this does go all the way to the end, then yeah, sure, I'll do it. But if not by this stream, then it'll be done. I'm gonna remove the tip goal on this particular one then. So yeah, just letting you know that right about now. Oh, is that what it was? Good Times. Well, now you know what the issue was. Try to donate that much through Streamlabs. Maybe it'll work at that point. Okay, so with that said, it's time to move on to the stories, everyone. So get ready. And while you get ready, I'll get ready. Where are my notes? Oh, here they are. Okay. Now, James Gunn. Elite, it might be a problem with your card, maybe. Try doing it through PayPal. Maybe that'll work or something. Anyway, story time. Now, James Gunn. Now, James Gunn has been answering a lot of people's questions on the social media platform Threads. And it's very interesting because we don't really get this kind of contact through someone on social media. And what I really like about it is anytime there's a rumor that comes out, which turns out to be a false rumor, someone brings it up to James Gunn, and James Gunn says, yeah, that's not true. And I love how he just, cuts through the bullshit, basically. Because otherwise there will be just so much rumors, it'll just set us up for disappointment. And it will be very, very disappointing when it turns out that, oh, we don't... This rumor that we heard that sounds interesting, turns out it's not happening. So it's better for James Gunn to just cancel out the rumor immediately, as opposed to him letting the rumor go on for months and months and months, only for us to then find out, oh, that rumor was always false. Like, if you look at Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness, for example, and even Deadpool and Wolverine, those are two movies that had so many leaks happening about who could be cameoing in the movie, including The Thing from the original Fantastic Four movies. And then when the movie comes out, turns out that a lot of those cameos we heard aren't even in the movie. So the whole false rumors thing, it can really disappoint when you're watching a movie. So I'm glad that James Gunn has come in and he's just been debunking all of these. So that is what has been going on, is that James Gunn has been just saying, yeah, all these aren't true, which I'm very pleased with. But he did say something recently which was almost like he was throwing a little bit of shade at the MCU, because someone asked him a question. Someone asked on Threads, and I've got it written down right here. Someone asked him on Threads whether DC Studios will ever deliver an MCU-style slate reveal like the MCU. And James Gunn says, it won't be exactly like Marvel, because nothing is greenlit before we have a finished script. And when I read that, I was like, three things. One, it's like... let me try to think about this. The best way to say... One, it's like he's trying to say that we're not like Marvel, we're going to be having a complete script. Once we have a complete script, only then will we start to put the movie through and start to get it made and have it greenlit. So that is great, and it's basically him saying he's tired of what Marvel are doing, that it's ridiculous that they make all these announcements and they don't have a complete script. Look at where Blade is right now, so that's just a prime example of that. And then there's a lot of other MCU projects that are just rushed out the door. So it's great that he said that, and he basically put that out there. The second thing that came to mind was a little bit contradictory. I was like, okay, you're saying you're not going to announce a movie until you got a finished script, but James Gunn has announced a lot of projects before even having finished scripts. The Green Lantern show, he had that script. I mean, he announced that before there was even writers at the time. He even did the same thing as well with like the Paradise Found, I think it was called. Basically, and the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and a lot of these other projects he's announced, even Swamp Thing, a lot of them, they don't have complete scripts, and the movies are essentially greenlit. So there's a little bit of contradiction, like a bit of a contradicting nature in what he has said right there. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. And the third thing is that it's like James Gunn has basically seen what's going on in Hollywood, how they basically have release dates first, but the idea and the scripts, they don't come into the picture until a whole lot later. So James Gunn is essentially saying, he said this in an interview, and I saw it in the interview, he goes, he's just tired of that, of seeing how all this money and all these scripts all this money and all these announcements are being made with release dates before anyone has even seen a script or even made a pitch. And he says that's a big problem. So that's what I've always been saying is a big problem, and he's now also saying it's a problem, and he's not going to repeat those mistakes. So I'm very glad to hear that. And he says he's not going to let any of these movies go forward until he actually finds a script that he's pleased with. So I'm very, very excited by what he said. What he said, do you know what James Gunn just demonstrated by saying that? He demonstrated quality control. Quality control is something that the MCU has completely lacked, and even stuff from Sony's side of things. It's like you can't buy good quality control, it seems, because in Hollywood they pay these people a lot of money, these executives and producers, but in the end there is no quality control on their end. It's just a load of nonsense, really. So I am so glad that James Gunn has come in and he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. We're going to be doing creative control, and we're going to be monitoring what these projects are like before we even put them into production. So I am so happy to hear that. James Gunn has got even more praise from me in that regard. And yeah, if you watch, because Creature Commandos is coming out, there's actually interviews of him talking about Creature Commandos. And he actually talks about the fact that he says, I'm not going to, like, people are asking him questions. That's where you're getting all these answers from. They're asking him questions about his DCU. And he's been letting out a lot of interesting info, and that was one of them. Well, two of them. what I just told you. So that's great. That really is great. So what do you guys think about this? It's really good to hear that he says, in his words, it won't be exactly like Marvel because nothing is greenlit before we have a finished script. James Gunn also said that what he's going to do is he's not going to limit the DC movies with one tone. He says that the DC comics have many different tones, and there are movies that have many different tones as well. He's going to allow them to have different tones. He says Creature Commandos is more of a jokey thing. He said Peacemaker's also got more jokes, but then you have something like the Lanterns show, which is going to be more serious. Even the Superman movie, he said, which is relatively serious. So there's a lot of stuff that he's saying. Which is like, this is all good. This is you're on the right track here. So I am so glad with all the stuff that he's been saying, and I cannot wait to see what projects we'll get with quality control like this. So yeah, great job to James Gunn. He's really instilling confidence into himself with what he's willing to do. Source fears it mustn't fall. It just needs, the MCU doesn't need to fall. It needs to get better. But I have argued that in order for them to learn, they just have to keep failing. So yeah. Deadwolf says, I would love to see a Green Arrow film. I think Green Arrow could be a character in in someone else's movie, but I don't think he needs to have his own movie. I mean, we had the first 3 seasons of Arrow, which were great. But everything after that, Arrow, I thought was pretty bad. So, yeah, the first 3 seasons were great. I think they can just stick to those. If you want to get a good backstory for Arrow, I think. Big Bash says, I want good writing, and James Gunn understands that. Yeah, let's hope so. Because he did a very good job with Peacemaker, but it's one thing for him to say all this stuff. We still need to see it in action. So I'm still waiting to see what he does before I'm like, yeah, you go, James Gunn. Right now, I'm like, you're saying all the right things. So that's definitely a good sign. It shows that he's not just loving everything Marvel does. He's actually talking about how he doesn't like how there are movies out there that just all go for comedies. And again, that's another jab at Marvel when he's saying that everything is just trying to be funny or trying to be one tone. And again, that's Marvel. So the fact that he's acknowledging that, it's like he clearly doesn't like the way Marvel is operating, and he's trying to make sure he does different in his DCU. So I hope he does a great job with that. Deadwolf says, James Gunn is now my favorite comic book movie producer. Well, we'll have to wait and see about that. Right now, my favorite producer is Matt Reeves, because like I said, The Penguin was amazing, like so good. So I want to see more of what they can pull off with that. So yeah. The Crazy Gamer 1 says, I'm going to be honest, James Gunn has gained my respect. He's gained the respect of many people. The stuff that he is saying is stuff that we have been saying for a while, and it's great. It really is the stuff that he's saying. Alright, Kevin has donated $2 super chat, and he says, what's better, Indy 5 or Joker 2? Please tell me why. Ooh, very interesting. I'll say Indy 5. Only reason being is because Harrison Ford still did a good job with his performance. But the chemistry he had with his goddaughter, I think it was, was it goddaughter? I can't remember now. I just don't, that movie's gone out of my head, out of my brain. I do not like that movie. You guys all know that. And I thought they had no chemistry, him and his goddaughter. So, yeah, I do think for sure that because of his performance, that's the only reason I'll really give it. I'll say that edges it out. Kevin Feige does need to take notes, but I don't know. I feel like he's too ignorant to do it right now. Elite says, James Gunn is exposing the problems that superhero films had. Yes, he really is. Fireboy says, Superman will make more money than Fantastic Four. Superman will make more than Fantastic Four. Yeah, I think it will, and I hope it does. Penguin is really good, says Crazy Cat Lady. You will like it. Yes, where is it? Who asked about Penguin? Saeed. He says, should I watch Penguin, guys? Yes, you should. It's a fantastic show. My dad just finished watching it recently, and he wasn't a big fan of the first of Matt Reeves' The Batman film, but even he loved the Penguin. He thought it was really good. So yeah, definitely watch it. Everyone who has seen it, who I know loves it. So I'd highly recommend that you watch it. Spirit Hero says, everyone says that the MCU is back, but I know that's not true. The people that say the MCU is back is the same people that always say it's back. And it's never back. These people will say it's back even when it isn't, and it's clear it isn't. So I wouldn't pay much stock to what they are saying. Yes, it does seem like they're doing even more reshoots now with Captain America 4 because they had a recent test screenings, Marvel did, which did not do well. So now they have to do even more reshoots than the reshoots they did last month. And the movie's coming out very soon, and already it seems like it's not doing well in the test screenings. It's not doing well in many regards, and people are just clearly they've just had it's like you can tell the people that are test screening Captain America 4 are Marvel's own employees, and if they are saying it's not good, then imagine what it's like when the public sees the movie. It'll really not be good. So yeah, they're wasting money on that. They're not going to be able to fix it because they didn't have a complete script at the beginning, a script that was good enough. Fireboy says, yeah, and Thunderbolts is also having more reshoots. Yeah, it is having more reshoots, even though apparently Marvel are very happy with it and pleased with it. But it's like, then why are they doing more reshoots? Reshoots happen in movies, now bear that in mind, but when Marvel do reshoots, we know it means more than just typical reshoots. When they do it, it's because they're trying to fix their movies, which never had the best scripts to begin with. Brave New World is going to be a shitfire, says IS71. I agree. Batman's Gamer says, and they think, oh, Marvel is back. Yeah, I know, right? The Crazy Gamer says, Eric, I changed my username. It was Angelo Gallo, if you remember that name from some streams. I don't know why. I kind of can and I kind of can't. It's bizarre, that feeling that you have sometimes. But yeah. Hui Tunmore says, I'm tired of hearing the word woke because whenever a user on YouTube uses it in their videos when talking about a product they don't like, they turn out to be MAGA or support Trump. Yeah, there's people that overuse the word. I don't overuse the word because I've said this before. I don't support Trump. I don't like Trump as a person, and I also never supported that Kamala Harris. So I'm not the kind of person that's picked one side or the other. I just think it's all full of people who are corrupt at the top, basically. That was like pick your poison, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like people do overuse the word on everything, but there's a lot of people out there that don't overuse it. They know where it should be used and how it's used, and I listen to them. I don't listen to the ones that overuse it on everything. IS71 says, I have trust with the Thunderbolts. I pray it's good because it has so much potential. Well, if you pop onto Patreon and you watch my trailer reactions, I've reacted to both the trailers for Thunderbolts, and you'll see what I thought of it when I was watching the trailers. Big Bash says, if you have a completed script, you don't need to do reshoots. Yeah, you don't. You might need to do pickup shoots and things, but you don't need to do reshoots to the way that Marvel do reshoots. That's a big problem, the way Marvel do it. So yeah, you don't need that, but that's just the way they work and they operate. They're so not good at their jobs down there. But yeah, they'll have to just learn the hard way then, won't they? Hey Raymond, great to see you, buddy. Jess says, Eric, if Fox made a Fantastic sequel, then it will suck, so I'm glad Marvel got back the rights. Do you agree, Eric? No, I don't agree. It's good that... Thing is, Marvel, you've seen the movies they've made right now. It's not like they're making good movies. Just because Fantastic was... Just because Fantastic was a bigger piece of shit than some of the stuff Marvel has released does not mean their piece of shit is all of a sudden good. They're just both different versions of pieces of shit, essentially. But at the end of the day, they're still pieces of shit. Look at what She-Hulk was. Look at what Ant-Man 3 was. Yeah, it's not Fantastic level bad, but it's still really bad. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be good under them, really. Let's see here. We got $2 from Batman's Gamer. Thank you very much, Batman's Gamer, for the $2 super chat. Batman's Gamer says that's why Superman isn't going to reshoot. Yeah, James Gunn says that of all the 3 movies that he's reshot, I think he said he only reshot 1 or 2 things out of his 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Or was it out of his Guardians of the Galaxy movies and his Suicide Squad and Peacemaker show that there was only like 2 things he reshot, or 1 thing. So yeah, he's more in it. He more knows how you're supposed to make these movies, whereas Marvel have no freaking clue. Jess, I've read your Fantastic Four comment already. And I've answered it. Good Time says, one day I want to make a film with a jokey main character in it, but also want it to be a good film. What would be good to keep in mind for it? The best thing to keep in mind for it is tone. Know when to make jokes and know when to take things seriously. Because you gotta keep the tension in there. You gotta keep the emotional stakes and the emotional substance in there. But if you start putting in jokes at the worst of times, then you've just deprived the movie of it. So I'd say bear your tone in mind. Know when to make jokes and know when not to. When to take things seriously. Because Marvel seem to be allergic to taking things seriously. So yeah, that's great on James Gunn right there. Okay then. Anyone want to comment on this anymore, or do you want to move on to the next story? Joshman55 says, Eric, I do feel like Captain America Brave New World is not going to do well with audiences when the movie actually does come out, if some people want to go see it. But for me, I will not be supporting. Yeah, it just doesn't look interesting to me. And it's a movie that they say, wow, this looks so grounded and realistic. And it's like, yeah, but then a Hulk pops up. Like, what are they doing down there? If I'm trying to be a more realistic movie, then why are they throwing a Hulk in there? And it looks like the Hulk only shows up for the climax. You know, for the last action sequence, which, like I said, from the test screenings that have come out, it's not a long action sequence. So it's like you're gonna feel like it was a waste to have a Red Hulk in there. Okay then, Red Hulk should have been done way earlier, says Big Bash. Yeah, he should have been with the original actor, but now the original actor has passed away because they just took so long to do it. So yeah. Alright then, next story. This is another story now with Marvel. And that story is... Oh, let me get my notes. Where have my notes disappeared to? No, wait, come back. Alright then, here. Now, Kevin Feige is, like I said, caused a lot of issues in the MCU. And it looks like he's trying to go hire some new actors now to be, you know, in his next movies. And the movie right now that he's looking to have actors in is going to be Avengers Doomsday. And it looks like he's got his eyes on a certain actor. And you guys tell me if he is trying to stinge off of a much more popular superhero movie. Yep, he is trying to get Robert Pattinson on board. Now, there's a rumor from Daniel RPK, who's a very reliable scooper, who says that Robert Pattinson has had a meeting with Kevin Feige with regards to an MCU project. Now, he's trying to get Robert Pattinson in, and apparently the character that he's trying to get him in to play is a character called Beyonder. And as you can see right here, this Elvis looking poser is what we've got right here. That's the Beyonder right there. And there is a scarier image of him right here in this comic right here. And you can call him Molecule Man, whatever you want to call him. Like, that's basically essentially what we've got here. So yeah, this is basically the character that they want him to play. And people are saying vampire as well and all that stuff. Now, I'm not going to say that I know a lot about the Beyonder, but he does seem to go through phases from what I've read. of his transformation and everything. And here's the thing. I will say that Robert Pattinson is too good for the MCU in terms of actor. Look what he brought to Batman. Look as an actor what he's just doing in movies in general. He's a phenomenal actor. He's like a chameleon, how he changes his voice. Look at what he did for the movie Good Times. And look at what he did in The Batman. Then look at the next movie that's coming out. The movie, I can't remember the movie's name, but it's from the director. It's coming out next month. From the director who made Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. He's made a new movie that Robert Pattinson is in, and there's trailers of it out there where there's like a twin, like a clone of Robert Pattinson. And that's basically shows just his range as an actor, how great of an actor Robert Pattinson is. Mickey 17, that was it. And it got delayed. Oh, that's a shame. Let's see. Spirit Hero says, Eric, doesn't it feel as though the MCU enjoys tarnishing the great Batman actors in their films? First Michael Keaton, then Christian Bale, now Robert Pattinson. Yeah, it does seem like it. And apparently they wanted to get Ben Affleck to come into Deadpool or Wolverine, but he said no. So here's hoping that Robert Pattinson says no. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. Just because Robert Pattinson is taking meetings with Marvel, that doesn't mean that he's actually going to be in the project. Keep this in mind when actors want to when producers call actors over for meetings, it's usually professional to take those meetings. It's not a good look if they basically just turn them down entirely. You never know what can happen. You never know what pie that producer has their finger in. So say if later on in the future there is a role that Robert Pattinson wants to be in, producers tend to talk, and then there are other, a producer might end up having their producing finger in another project. So because of that, you're not supposed to like be rude and turn them down. You're supposed to take the meeting, even if you know you're gonna say no. So that's what it is. It's professional to take these meetings. It doesn't mean he's gonna play the role. It doesn't mean he'll do it, and I will say, it is strange. That being said, it is very strange of Feige to take DC's Batman and DC's recent Batman. This, to me, shows that he's trying to ride their coattails, because Robert Pattinson right now is a great actor, one of the best. And out of all the actors in the MCU, Robert Pattinson is far more exciting an idea to play a superhero character than any of those. And plus, he's playing the best superhero character right now, in a universe that feels much more put together. He's playing Batman, and Batman just got off of a fantastic show on The Penguin where it teased Batman at the very, very end. So it does feel like Kevin Feige is trying to ride that success by bringing Robert Pattinson in. And apparently the role that he wants to hire him as, like I said, as Beyonder, it's a one and done, apparently. So they want to keep him in one movie and not keep him in for the rest of the MCU. So there is that. But still, it feels like they're trying to take him because he's Batman, and Batman is so popular and successful, especially because it's a current Batman that's going on right now. So yeah, he's trying to ride their coattails. Now, here's another reason why I think Robert Pattinson might not be in the next, even if he wants to, here's another reason why I don't think he will be in that film. The reason why is because it could be for scheduling conflicts. And I do mean that too, scheduling conflicts, because right now, Robert Pattinson, this movie is supposed to come out in 2026, by the way, Avengers Doomsday. But Robert Pattinson has other movies coming out in 2026 that he hasn't even filmed yet. Those movies being the Christopher Nolan movie that he's going to be in. Also, the Batman Part 2 that he's going to have to be in. I don't think he's going to have time to end up shooting, and plus he must have other projects lined up too that he's doing. I don't think he's going to have time to end up doing a Marvel project after that. Not to mention the fact that Marvel, they do a lot of reshoots, and I don't think Robert Pattinson will have that time. They'll need to shoot his scenes at the beginning, get them right, and that's it. That's assuming they even have the time to shoot those scenes at the beginning. But the thing is, we know Marvel, they always do reshoots. The Russo brothers also did a lot of reshoots. So I don't think Robert Pattinson's schedule will really go with that kind of work ethic that happens at Marvel. Plus, there was an interview for Creature Commandos recently where the actor, that Frank Grillo, where he said that working for DC was nicer than it was for Marvel. He says, that Marvel, when you sign on he said this recently for on this Creature Commandos interview. He goes, when Marvel sign you up for contracts, they usually say they can get you back whenever they want for reshoots and everything. And he goes, if you're Robert Downey Jr. and you make a lot of money, that's great, he said. But he says, but if you're not Robert Downey Jr. and you don't make a lot of money, then it's just very inconvenient for the actor. And he says DC doesn't do that, though, at least under James Gunn. He's not experienced that. And he says because of that, he's likes it a lot better at working at DC. They're looser. And if just think about that, though, what he said, that when you sign a contract with them, they want you to come back in, and they're saying, yeah, you're gonna have to come back in for reshoots and this and that. They cannot do that to Robert Pattinson. If they say they want to do that to Robert Pattinson, I think Pattinson's gonna say no. I think he wouldn't be interested. And like I said, it won't go with his schedule, because that will conflict with his Batman shooting. And plus, Robert Pattinson he is selective with the projects he chooses, and with Marvel, I think he's going to be very selective there as well. And I think it's not escaped, his mind that he's playing Batman right now. He's playing the best superhero. So for him to go over to Marvel, will that dilute it, or will that to him just be like, yeah, that's not as good? I'd rather maintain the kind of persona I've got now by being Batman, as opposed to being Batman, then being this other character in the MCU. They say he's supposed to be a super popular character. That's what the rumor suggests, that Marvel are trying to hire him for. But come on, let's be honest. The Beyonder might be good in the comics. I've never heard of him in my life before, so that's not a super popular character. But yeah, I hope he's not going to be in there. I don't want to see Robert Pattinson in an MCU movie. I like that Robert Pattinson's in the Batman, and I like the Batman actor while he's playing Batman to stay as Batman. I don't want to see him become another superhero. That's not fun. It's not fun to see them play another hero, especially a hero in a much worse universe. One that just makes him funny and goofy and all. It's not going to be fun to see him in that, I don't think. So, yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen, personally. Huey Toonmore says, Eric, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the recent animated Watchmen adaptation? Do you think you could do a versus video putting it against Zack Snyder's Watchmen? It's a good idea, but not right now. I'm overwhelmed already with the amount of videos I gotta do. I don't want to think about doing another one, but that is a good idea. That is a good idea. Thank you for suggesting it, buddy. Sarah says, why is Null here? Well, I don't know. If you had to ask me, I'd say it's Jess that is doing that. But yeah, I agree. Oh, it's cool you're here, Sarah. I thought you had left for some reason. Because I'm the yeah, okay. But yeah, that was a very good recommendation, Huey Toonmore. But yeah, that's basically the situation with this, is that they're trying to get him on board, but I think he's right now, he's in the best position out of any of these actors. Robert Pattinson is in the best project, and he's in the best universe right now, in the Matt Reeves universe. So honestly, you wouldn't want to go anywhere else really at that point. So yeah, he's taking this meeting because it's a formality. For professional reasons, he has to do it. But will he go with it? No, I don't think he will. Like I said, he's very selective over the projects he does. He's very much a quality over quantity kind of actor. And I think Marvel's kind of in the slums right now, so I don't think it's a good thing to, to sign on for a Marvel movie, especially when you're playing the best DC character. To play this wannabe Marvel character at that point, it's like, that's beneath him, I think. So yeah, and like I said, they're going to have to get ready to shoot that Batman movie in the next year, and they're also going to have to get ready to shoot the Christopher Nolan movie next year with him in it. And that's not even counting other projects that Robert Pattinson might be in, so I don't think he's going to have time to be in an MCU project. It'll probably be one of those situations where he says that he's doesn't have time to, or they didn't come to an agreement. It'll probably be one of those types of conversations that prevented him from, getting into the role. So yeah. I don't think it's anything to worry about, personally. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you have any questions regarding this? Khan says, all I can say is thank goodness Robert Pattinson is not going to do this. Well, I didn't say that. We don't know what can happen. He might potentially, there is a potential he could say yes, but I'm hoping he says no. I like the idea that the Batman actor is staying in the Batman project and he's not like, you know, just everywhere, like in another comic book property. That makes Robert Pattinson feel like he is specific to Warner Brothers. So I like the idea that he's only being there. But Feige, he's clearly trying to ride the coattails of, you know, the popular movie right now. And the popular one right now, especially coming off of the Penguin, is the Batman franchise. So hopefully Rob Pattinson just stays here and doesn't go over there with them. Robin says, hot take, Rob Pattinson would be a good Dracula. I think that would be too close to his Twilight days, don't you think? Knowing Marvel, imagine if Marvel had him play a vampire. They would most likely have him do a sparkly vampire joke or something. They would try to do references to his Twilight days and all that. Khan says, Eric, become the CEO of Disney so you can fire Kevin Feige. I'll let you know how that goes. Khan says, if that ever happened, then Robert would have absolutely went ballistic on them because he hates Twilight. Robert would have absolutely went ballistic. I don't know if he would have gone ballistic on them because I'm sure they would have made fun of Twilight. But still, even if he's making fun of it, I think he would probably want to distance himself from that right now. Yeah. Elite says, fire this so-called CEO of Marvel. Yeah, Feige needs to get out. He's causing problems. I don't know why he keeps trying to introduce these heroes that no one cares about. I mean, in this June, on the month of my birthday, we're gonna get a bloody Ironheart show, which has been they've had ready for about a couple of years now, and they're gonna then release it then. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Eric needs to fire Kathleen Kennedy too, says Jacinda. Well, I would have liked to have done that a long time ago. And welcome, Jacinda. It's great to see you here on the stream. So yeah, the Crazy Gamer 1 says, have you seen Mount Everest? It's a really good but it's a really sad film and it's based on true events. Definitely recommend. I've not seen it. Is that Mount Everest? Is that the one with what was her name from Titanic? Kate Winslet and Idris Elba. Is that Mount Everest? Kate Winslet. Yeah, Kate Winslet and Idris Elba, was it? Robin says, actually, you know who I think Pattinson could play? Van Helsing. I hope Marvel didn't pick David Corenswet in the Marvel movie. Wow, could you imagine if they did get David Corenswet? Like, Kevin Feige had a meeting with David Corenswet. It would be like, whoa, seriously, Feige. Like, get off of DC now, seriously. That's kind of what it would be like, wouldn't it? Feige really has no clue what he is doing. Marcus, great to see you here on the stream, buddy. Jess says, I'm back. Are you back from being null, Jess? Yeah. Alright. Okay, I think it's time to move on to the next story, unless you have any other questions. Deadwolf said, I think Marvel is getting jealous of DC. I think they're kind of looking towards them, like, what are they doing? Because DC have got a variety of tones going on. They haven't got just one tone. They've got so many different things, and they're doing a lot of them very well, especially from what we've seen of James Gunn so far. Like I said, I loved Peacemaker. That was so good. The Penguin was even better. So, yeah. Good Time says, Robert Pattinson wasn't Batman. Would he be a good Shadow? Ooh, by Shadow you mean Shadow the Hedgehog. That could be interesting. Yeah, he probably could have. I think his Shadow voice would have been very similar to his Batman voice, though, I think. Saeed says, lol, DC is getting popular now. It is, because it's exciting. I won't say DC has won yet or anything, but they're ramping up, and it seems like they're doing stuff the right way, and it's getting exciting. So yeah, that's good. That's something definitely good. They really need to get... I will say this, DC need to get the Penguin. They need to get it off of Max, or keep it on Max, but also have it on either Amazon Prime or Netflix. Because that's where a lot of people seem to go for their streaming show goodness, and if they put it there, I think the show will blow up. Like, it really will. So they just need to, like, just the whole season, drop it on Netflix or something, or Amazon Prime, and it will pick up. Joshman says, I do not see Robert Pattinson playing a character in an MCU movie. You and me both, buddy. I don't see him playing that either. Hui Chunmore says, Eric, I think he means the Shadow. Let's see. Who is the Shadow? Oh, this the Shadow. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would actually have been interesting. I think he could pull that off, yeah. Yeah, that would actually be interesting. Oh. Good Times did says that's what I meant for any confusion. Oh, you did meant Shadow the Hedgehog. Okay, cool. Alright. Okay, see, so Good Times did mean Shadow the Hedgehog. Alright, next story. Now, this is something we're going to talk about, which is almost an announcement for the channel, but at the same time, it's something I genuinely do want to talk to you guys about, and it's to do with Skeleton Crew. Now, Skeleton Crew is going to come out, I think, tomorrow. I think they've released it a day early. And that is very fascinating and interesting to me, because that show was supposed to come out, like, I think 2-3 days from now, but they've done it a day early. Now, this is the reason I'm going to tell you why this show, to me, I've not really seen any trailers. I've only seen ads based on when YouTube put ads on, you know, when you ads on a video. I saw a trailer, and it looks fine. Like, it doesn't look great to me or anything, but I am curious to give this a watch, because apparently Jon Favreau has, like I've said, has a lot of faith in this show. And this is a show that apparently he's going to be using to say, basically to help his case, to say that this is what Star Wars fans want. Because Kathleen Kennedy has come in, done a lot of stuff that we do not want as fans. So I think Jon Favreau has come in and said, this is what we need to do. And I think this is one of the projects that he has greenlit. And you know what? If it was any other time, I would not have paid attention to this. But because he is saying it, Jon Favreau is saying that this is the project that I think fans will like, it makes me curious, because he's hedging his bets on this, it seems, from what I've heard. And if he's hedging his bets on this, then you know what? I actually want to watch it. Because I have said this before, the only people that can save Star Wars right now is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And if they can save Star Wars, and this is what they're kind of hedging their bets on right now, then I've got to give it a watch. And because it's a brand new show, I am planning on watching it and putting it on my Patreon for you guys as a Let's Watch. So I would strongly recommend that maybe you guys give it a watch. We'll see how it goes. Like, why? This is what I'm curious about. Why is he hedging his bets on this? Like, this seems to be something that he's got a lot of faith in. So I'm curious as to why. Because if this is something that he's gonna, because look, hedging your bets is a big deal. It means you're gonna have to say to the Disney heads, this is the show that what we are basically telling you about, that we are trying to instill trust in you, that this is what we think we need to do. This is one of the projects we need to do. And that trailer doesn't look interesting to me that much, but I'm like, alright, if this is what he wants to do, I'll give it a watch, and let's see. So, I'm planning on doing a Let's Watch of this, at least at the beginning, to see how it is. So, I'll give it a watch and we'll see. Jess says, Eric, don't watch this. This is something from the Disney Channel. I don't even know that, though. Let's give it a watch and we'll see, because I'm wondering, is there anything hidden in this that the trailers have not shown us? Is there more to this? That's what I'm wondering. Is there more to this? Because who would hedge their bets on something like this based on how it looks? I don't really know who would. So I'm curious. I am genuinely curious. Like, what made Jon Favreau say to Disney and Bob Iger, like, this is the show that I'm going to be putting my support behind? There's got to be a reason. And at the very least, I am curious to see what that reason is. So if you want to see my reaction to it, as I've said, the Let's Watch show that I do on Patreon, you guys will get it first. You'll get my full reaction, and then eventually I'll put the edited down version on YouTube, eventually. But my main priority is getting it on Patreon for you guys first. Huey Chunmore says, Eric, people are actually demonizing Dave Filoni for helping to ruin Star Wars with Mando Season 3, Ahsoka, and even The Clone Wars. What the F? The other two I can understand, but Clone Wars? Yeah, if anyone says that, they're not a Star Wars fan, and they've not even seen Star Wars, The Clone Wars. Because if they have, as a Star Wars fan, it speaks to you. And not just for fan service, but because it's genuinely good. So if they say, oh, he did Clone Wars and that sucked, get out. As far as I'm concerned, get out. Like, if you don't like it, fair enough. But I know these people have not seen it, and they are just trying to they're trying to make a case, but it's a flimsy case. And the case completely falls apart when you throw Clone Wars into the conversation. Because Clone Wars, to me, is the best thing I think Star Wars has ever done. Genuinely. Star Wars The Clone Wars is my favorite Star Wars media. Khan says, so it's just people rage baiting? Yeah, it does sound like just people rage baiting. I mean, people were also trying to do the same thing to Matt Reeves about Batman because Catwoman said, white privilege. Now, I didn't like that line either. I really didn't. But when Matt Reeves does it, I trust that it's coming from a creative place and not from a political place where he's like, look at me, pat me on the back. I don't think that's what Matt Reeves was doing. So when he says it, I truly believe it was because it was for creative reasons. The same with casting race-changing Commissioner Gordon and Catwoman. I feel like it was also genuinely for creative reasons, and the actors he got to play them were great. So I trust Matt Reeves in that regard, but yeah, others will just not even look at the rest of the movie. They'll look at that one word, you know, the white privilege thing, that one term, and then they'll just try to use that to say, yep, see, whole movie's crap. It's ridiculous. Saeed says rage baiting is more common nowadays, such as in Marvel and DC as well, with the toxic YouTubers. Yeah, there are people that just try to like go way too far with it. Now, you guys have known I've had my times where I've been very disappointed over politics and stuff in Hollywood and in the comic book industry. You guys saw my video on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I said the legacy, how Hollywood is, you know, the industry is destroying the legacy of popular male characters, and I fully stand by that. But there are other times where people are just going on about it, and I'm not a part of that. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that applies here, that, you know, how Hollywood are screwing characters over. I don't think it applies to the Batman. I thought that was a great movie. And it spun off in The Penguin, which was great as well. And it had a female showrunner who did not do any of the wokey stuff. She genuinely wrote all the characters so well, including Sophia. So yeah. Big Bash says everyone has privilege. It doesn't apply to only one race. Well, I've always said this. I've said, here's the thing. Everyone, when people say white people get privilege, they do, but that's not like the end. Like, that's it, the end. You're white, that's it. Things are easier. It's like, no. Things are hard for everyone in the world. We all live in this world that basically just tries to take a big giant crap on all of us. You know, all of us are in this crappy world with the crappy economy and everything, and we all have hardships and challenges. It doesn't mean that they have it made for them. If anything, I will say, the highest people that, like, yeah, there's a lot of white people that are successful and that, you know, get all this stuff, but at the same time, when I see homeless people, it usually is white people as well. So, you know, a lot of people, everyone's on this shitty world. Everyone is basically being eaten alive by it, and just to make it out like, oh yeah, they are 100% like getting all the benefits, it's not 100% them getting all the benefits. They also get a lot of the shit too. So yeah, I don't buy it when they try to say like 100%, like it's just your white privilege, that's the only reason you're successful. Could be a contributing factor, but it's not the whole thing. Except if you're born into it, like these rich people. Like, there's actually rich people in Hollywood. Some people in Hollywood have said this. They've said it on the down low, but they said that there's these people in Hollywood or in corporations that had to work to get where they are. But then the kids beneath them, the next generation, they were just born into it, and they did not have to work for it. And they just said that, yeah, we can take over and do whatever we want. And it's because of that where all of a sudden you see these corporations making all these bad decisions. Because the newbies who have no idea how to start a company like this, they come in and they start making all their changes, their ridiculous changes, and they have no idea what they're doing. So yeah, those people are born into privilege, and that's a different situation. But anyway, that's enough of that. Yeah, Spirit Hero, I remember that. He said, Spirit Hero says, some of the criticism that the first Joker received was ridiculous. One of them pointed it out as being made for white male incels. I mean, come on. Yeah, I know. That was ridiculous. It was... Thing is, it's in their face anyway at the end of the day. Whatever bullshit they were trying to spin, narrative they were trying to spin for that movie, in the end, you don't get to $1 billion just because incels come into the theater. You get to $1 billion because a movie connected with the mainstream. And that's exactly what happened, and that's why the movie was successful. The incels argument was just bullshit. Hui Tunmo says, Eric, they say it's because Filoni ruined the expanded universe with Clone Wars, but didn't George hate the expanded universe and picked and chose certain elements from it for the Clone Wars? I don't know if George Lucas hated it, but I do know that Dave Filoni said, George Lucas said, the only thing that is real in terms of canon in Star Wars is the movies and the television shows, which at the time was just the Clone Wars. So that is the only thing that is canon in George Lucas's world. But keep in mind, that was before Disney bought out Lucasfilm. So, you know, now it's like, well, what is canon? They're probably going to say it's a lot of this stuff, but I think, to me, it's still the George Lucas movies, 1 to 6, and the Clone Wars show. So, yeah. By the way, just curious, Sarah, are you still in the chat? If you are, or if you're still watching the stream, comment just so I see your name. I was just curious. I see a lot of you guys still here, I can tell. But Sarah doesn't seem to be in the chat, from what I can tell. Oh, there she is. I thought you were gone. I was just reading through all the comments here with all of you. And I didn't see your name there, so I was like, oh, is she gone? Oh, you're doing math. Okay, I was wondering. Okay, fair enough. Well, it's cool that you're watching and doing math at the same time, though. That's cool. So, yeah. Curiosity. I'm going to put a poll out. I'm going to put a poll out right now. And I'm going to ask all of you guys. I'm going to ask all of you guys if... Well, you'll see what I'm going to ask you. I don't do a poll often, so let's do it. You going to be watching the Skeleton Crew? Yes, no, and the third option will be maybe. So yeah, there's your poll. Sarah says, I'm doing algebra and triangles. Been there, Sarah. So yeah, let's see, where is the vote at? Split 33% each. That does seem to be changing, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Saeed says, guys, gonna go now. See you next week. Take care. Take care to you too, Saeed. Thank you very much for joining the stream. I really appreciate it, buddy. Jacinda, great to see you here. She goes, lol, Sarah, who knew a triangle could be so complicated? Yep. Ugh. Sarah says, isn't Iron Man dead? Yeah, he is dead, but it looks like they're going to get a multiverse variant or something to have him play Doctor Doom or something. Yeah, I'm glad it's nice to... Like I said, nice to see you, Sarah. Nice to see you, Jacinda. Let's see. In the poll, Eric, I meant to put in my vote for maybe I might watch the Skeleton... Maybe I might watch the Skeleton Crew series. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Sarah says, isn't that cheating, though, having him be from another universe? Yeah. Oh, is Batman's Gamer leaving? Oh, okay, then Batman's Gamer, if you're leaving, take care. Thank you for joining the stream. It is cheating, but that's what the multiverse is, and Marvel are trying to capitalize on that, Sarah. So that's basically, unfortunately, what it is, right? What it is right there. Okay, there's 44 of you watching, and there's only 20 votes, so put more votes in and let's see. Oh, Batman's Gaming, you're not leaving. Oh, okay. I saw Sarah saying bye to you, so I thought you were leaving. Okay. So, yeah, let's end the poll soon, and let's see. Alright, then. So, 47% said maybe, 28% said no, and 23% said yes. So, it looks like if you count the maybe with the yes, then it seems like more people are saying yes than no. But no one seems excited, and I'd say that is fair enough. I'm not excited either, but I'm hoping, because I have such trust in Jon Favreau. Because I have such trust in Jon Favreau, I'm hoping that there is something in the show that we don't know yet, and I am genuinely curious. So I hope that the show does a good job. I will be watching it when it comes out, and I'll show you guys. I'll be documenting my journey on watching it. Jeff says, I'm excited for Creature Commandos and Peacemaker Season 2. That's it, Eric. Well, when Creature Commandos comes out, who wants to see me do a Let's Watch on that? For Patreon and YouTube memberships. Spirit Hero says, I'd watch that. Batman's Gamer's like, sure. Jess says, me. Elite says, me. Spirit Hero's like, I'd watch that. That's good. I'm glad you guys would want to see that. Alright, I'll do it. It will go on Patreon first, though. Remember that. Patreon first. Jess says, do it, Eric, for Patreon. I will. Oh, Sarah says, okay, I'm going to continue my math. I'll be listening. Okay, that's alright then, Sarah. That's good. But Rohan says, I don't have a Patreon or YouTube memberships. Well, you're going to have to try to get it, because that's where I put these. Eventually, it will come onto YouTube, like a shorter version of it. Eventually, but immediately it will pretty much straight away go up on Patreon after I've seen it. So I recommend that if you want to, you know, see it, if you know what I mean first. So, yeah. Jacinda says, yeah, that's a good idea for you to do. It's funny how a lot of you were not sure when I says the Skeleton Crew. But then when I mentioned Creature Commandos, you were all like, yeah, me, I want to see that. Kind of shows you where we are, how more people are interested in a DC animated show than they are a live-action Star Wars project that most likely cost a heck of a lot more than the DC animated project. King of the Monster, did you know Godzilla is in Fortnite? No, but I'm not surprised. When will the Captain Eric biopic be made? I don't know. I'll never give him the rights. Alright then. So, that's basically it for Creature Commandos. Have you got any questions? After that, we can move on to the Q&A. The skin is sad, Marcus. Does that mean the skin looks bad? Spirit Hero says, Eric, will you be doing more movie reactions on Patreon and YouTube? You can get a bigger audience with those. That is the plan. I'm trying to do more of those. So yeah, and maybe I'll do. I just thought of this now. Who would be interested in a commission? Because who first of all, who here saw my first time watching Moana, which I uploaded on YouTube? I uploaded it for the first time. I uploaded a condensed version on YouTube. Who here saw that? Trevor Bistro says, I saw it. Jacinda says, I saw it. Batman's Gamer says, I saw the YouTube one. That's what I mean, the YouTube one that I did. Khan says, I saw it. King of the Monsters 2021 says, yeah, he has. Thank you, all of you guys. G Gamer says, I didn't, because I didn't have YouTube membership. I did Patreon membership, though. That's not what I meant, G Gamer. I meant the YouTube one. Oh, you mean you saw the extended Patreon version? Is that what you mean? Oh, right. Okay. Elite says, I saw it on Patreon. Yep, you saw it first on Patreon and the extended one on Patreon. I've got the full one on Patreon and the extended. So you get an extended one, then you get the full one, where if you want to watch my whole reaction to that, you can have your own copy of the movie and watch it with me all the way through. And then the extended one is like the YouTube one, but I've made it longer, so you see more of my reaction. So yeah. Let's see. I saw it, says Big Bash. The Crazy Gamer says, Eric, I saw it. Like I said, Elite says he saw it on Patreon. The G Gamer said yes, he saw it. That's good to know that a lot of you saw it, because that took a long time to edit. I hope you enjoyed the humor I did in there as well. That was new. I've never quite done that, because usually I'm not much of a talker when I'm watching movies, but when I'm watching it with you guys, you know, I gotta, you know, let you guys know what I'm thinking, because I'm not just speaking to myself, I'm speaking to you guys, so I kind of speak out loud what I'm thinking. Khan says, I did have a lot of fun watching it. Trevor says, do a Loki reaction. Don't worry, the Loki reaction will come. I've just got quite a cramped month right now with December, because I gotta get the Moana versus video out. I gotta get a Sonic versus video out. And then there's a couple of Christmas videos that I want to try to get out. So, and then I've also got G Gamer, who, don't think I've forgotten, I've got to do a Megamind review for G Gamer. So I'm trying to balance all this new stuff out with the videos that I've got to make. All these are new videos right now. So I will be, so I will get to that eventually, to Loki. I do want to get to that for sure. Watch it with you guys. Jess says, Eric, just 2 months until I get my PS5, so I'm very excited. Cool. Sarah says, remember, no pressure, Eric. That's so nice, Sarah. She goes, we can wait. I know, but the thing is, Spirit Hero says, make sure not to work too hard, Eric. Well, have you guys seen how many videos I've uploaded in the last few days? I have been working very, very hard. In fact, I did get a little bit, it's probably not a good thing, but a part of me was thinking, yeah, good times. It's from Patreon. If you look at the commission stuff, there's commission stuff where, yeah, you can get a review from me if you fund it. If you fund it, you'll get a review from me. And I am thinking of doing commissions for these Let's Watches as well. So if you guys are interested in that, those will be there as well. I'll consider doing that. Let's see. But yeah, I did get Elite. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I will answer it in a second. Yeah, I did get a little low recently. I was feeling like, do I want to continue doing this? Like this, how I'm like doing this much editing, this much work on the matter. It felt like it was getting a little less fun. So yeah, when that happened, I was thinking maybe I should try to cook. But the thing is, I'm trying to get more views on the channel. For some reason, I've got, you guys know how many subscribers I've got. I've got 65,000. But there was a lot of stuff going on where people were not getting updated, so that's why people always started saying to them, don't forget to click the bell and the subscribe button and the bell right next to it. Because that's, unfortunately, that was something that happens, and it just makes it, it's like you have to compete to get the viewership and stuff, and that's why you have to get there quickly. So that's why I tried to do a Moana video recently, which has done quite well. But that's what makes it so hard, is you're trying to get the viewership and the people coming in to watching your stuff, but you got to really be on the ball very quickly, and that's, you know, it is quite, you know, taxing on you emotionally and mentally. So yeah, I did kind of hit a point, not a breaking point, but a point. And thankfully, when I watched Moana yesterday, Moana 2, I took the rest of the day off pretty much. I did bits of work, but I ultimately took the rest of the day off and then made a thumbnail at the end of the day. Rohan, I have seen the new How to Train Your Dragon teaser. Wasn't all that great, to be honest with you. It just felt like too similar to the animated version. Even the design of the monsters, they look like just real animated characters. So I was like, well, what's the point then of all this? So yeah, that's weird. That really is weird. We'll see how it goes, but it seems like they're following Disney's footsteps. But it has the director of the original, so we'll see. Sarah says, we love your videos, Eric, but we love you more, so please take more breaks. I'll try, Sarah, and I love you guys back. But I do need, in order to make my YouTube channel a career like I do need to try to do more. So that's why again, I'm always trying to give you guys back as well. I don't just want people to pay and support me on Patreon and not give them anything back. So I'm trying to do more Let's Watch stuff, which takes a long time to edit. And I'm hoping that can help make this a full-time career that can basically work, and I can do this like full-time. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, family is very supportive. King of the Monsters, they are very supportive. They have been for years. Let me see. Where is it? There's this question here. G Gamer says, for the Megamind 2 review, if it's too much for December and January to make, and all I can request that you at least watch it before your worst movies of 2024. Okay, then, I see your point. I'll try to watch it before then. A review will probably come out later, but I'll try to watch it first. Just so I know if it gets on my top 5 worst. G-Gamer says, take breaks. I will, but yeah. Moana 2, and then I've got Sonic 3, and then I've got the Skeleton Crew to do, and I've also got Creature Commandos to cover. That's a lot of work to do, so I'll try my best. We'll see how I do it. Let's see. Khan says, Eric, take as much of a day off as you want. I really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Where was the other comment? Good Time says, I'm on your Patreon, not seeing the commissions thing. What you gotta do is go to my Patreon, look at the price plans where you see my price plans on Patreon. Go all the way to the bottom, and then you will go all the way to the bottom, and then you'll find it where you basically scroll and you see all the donation plans. That's where it is. Good Times. Elite, I didn't. Thank you for reminding me. Elite says, is there a Captain Eric movie in the works? Wouldn't it be fun if wouldn't it be fun if there's a Captain Eric movie that happens where he basically goes in throughout Disney and then fires everyone and takes over and puts good people in their place. Then he's like, no problem, just what I do. Then I fly off to Warner Brothers, then I do the same there. Spirit who says, I have to go now, Eric. Thank you for the stream. No problem, buddy. Take care, and thank you for joining. Elite, and all jokes aside, Elite, in answer to your super chat, I would not give them the rights, basically, to have my likeness. So no, there wouldn't be a Captain Eric movie. You guys could make a short film though, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. Elite says, great movie pitch. Well, I'm glad you liked it. That was literally just spur of the moment. Crazy Gamer 1 says, I'm working on one. You're working on one what? Oh, a fan film. Jack Jean Havoc. I don't think I've seen you very often on the streams. Are you new to the streams? Have you been here before? And I'm just having a brain fart right now. Oh, and by the way, yes, we are on the Q&A. Oh, you're Yako. Oh, when you guys change your names, it's always an adjustment for me. It really is. By the way, guys, thank you very much for your donations. Like I said, I've always really appreciated it, so thank you. I'll just leave that up there for now. I have seen the teaser, Rohan of How to Train Your Dragon, the live action one, and I talked about it a little bit about 5 minutes ago. It doesn't really interest me, really. Jess says, Eric, I'm making a Batman... Sorry, I'm making a best to worst movies of 2024. It's already in the works. Okay, cool. I hope it does well. You know what? I'm not going to do the Skeleton Crew. I just thought about it. That's too much work to do. So I'm not going to cover the Skeleton Crew in that way. I might cover it by reviewing an episode or something. I might. But I'm not going to do the live watch-alongs. I just think about it. I think that's too much. I think I will go insane. So I'll do Creature Commandos because that seems to have more hype behind it. Batman's Gamer's like, phew. Jess says, thank God no Skeleton Crew. Well, I know Jess really hates the idea of that show, so I'm not surprised Jess is happy about that. But yeah, I think for my own sanity, I need to cut down a bit. So I'll cut down on that. But I will commit to Creature Commandos. And if I want to cover Skeleton Crew, I'll do it through a video. One thing I have been thinking about doing recently is, do you know how there are certain people on YouTube that have animated versions of themselves that are pointing to the screen, or they're changing their poses like this and like that? I'm thinking of finding something like that. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys know how to do that. I haven't looked into it much, admittedly, but yeah, if anyone has cartoon versions of me that I can use, that would be cool. Batman's Game says, animate yourself. Animate myself, but not in a video. Animate myself like in a still image. You know, multiple still images. So I can, so if I don't want to show myself all the time, you could see an animated picture of me pointing at a poster or something. You know, something like that. Big Bash says, I can draw a model of your likeness for you. I mean, yeah, sure, send it to me. You've sent me stuff on Instagram before. Send it to me. I'll take a look. Because I do want to find a way of doing that. And yeah, if you do that, I'll credit you. It has to look at a certain level, of course. But if you could accomplish that, that would be pretty cool. Like, yeah, Selena says, I get what you are talking about. Yeah. Big Bash says, what poses do you want, Eric? Very good question. The poses are an analytical pose. Like, I'm analytical, like I've got this, like, you know, when you're crossing your arms like this, looking at the screen. And then another pose can be like this, like I'm thinking, like maybe this is what Marvel are trying to do. Or maybe they just suck. Like, you see this? Like, you know, these kind of poses. And then another pose can be an eye roll or something. You know, those kind of poses, like, of the... if you watch one of my videos and you see my emotions, how they kind of, like, go all over the place, if I could have animation of those poses, like, just the basic poses of, like, annoyance, and then, you know, anger, confusion, like, wait, what? They did what? Like, you know, those kind of poses. We don't have to do detailed poses, like, you know, like this or something, but... detail poses, or poses like this, where it's like, oh god, or oh that, or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever you think is easy, I'll leave it for you to decide. But you get what I mean, the poses I'm talking about. Poses that are very expressive about different things, you know. I hope I'm explaining this right. It's approaching midnight, so if I'm not, then, you know, that's the reason why. But, yeah. Matthew says, do you prefer a realistic Batman or a fantastical one? That's a very good question. I like both kinds. I love both kinds. But if I had to edge one out, I would say fantastical Batman, because there's so much more cool stuff he does. Like if you look at the Arkham games, for example. Big Bash, do you get what I was saying? Was I clear in how I said it? Like, did you get what I was trying to say? Wow, Big Bash says, I get what you're saying. I'll get on it once the stream is done. Cool, I didn't know, Wow, thank you, Big Bash. I'll tell you right now, I'm not sure, I need to see it if it's on the level that I need it to be, but man, if it is, cool. Like, if, you get that done, then yeah, that would be amazing. I could try it, and maybe when I cover the Skeleton Crew, maybe, like that, this is just me brainstorming. This is not how I plan my videos, that spur of the moment, but yeah, I could use it, and I'll even credit you for it. You're so generous, by the way, Big Bash. Thank you very much. Like, I didn't think that someone would just right now take up the challenge. The fact that you did, seriously, thank you. That's why I have the best viewers. All of you are very giving. And whenever you give, I always try to give back. Is Pete's Dragon 2016 good? Iron Man 1, The Jungle Book, and Season 1 to 2 of Mandalorian are good as well. Pete's Dragon I've not seen. Iron Man 1, yes, that was a good movie. The Jungle Book, the live action one if you're talking about, I actually did enjoy that, surprisingly. And it's from Jon Favreau as well. And let's see, what's the other? Season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, yes, they were good. I thought they were good. So just Pete's Dragon is the only one I've not seen, but I've heard good stuff about that as well. Let's see. Batman's Gamer says, I just ate a big dinner and now I'm tired. I've been there, buddy. I had a big dinner before actually doing this stream, so you can imagine how I'm feeling right now. Big Bash says, you're my favorite creator, Eric. I'll gladly help out if I can. Oh, that really means a lot. Thank you very much, Big Bash. You're one of my favorite, what's the word I'm looking for? You're one of my favorite viewers. You've been with me on the channel for a very long time. Very long. Even when I was starting these streams. So, thank you for sticking by. All of you, thank you for continuing to stay by me and watch my videos. And thanks for sharing them too, because I really need to get the word out more. So whenever you guys can share them, that always helps. Batman's Gamer says, where's Adam Grunther? Yeah, he came in once before. Was it last week's stream or the week before? But yeah, I think it's hard to get people in on the time. Like, it's hard to pick a time on a live stream to say, okay, now this is the time where everyone's going to come in. It can be a bit tricky. So maybe that's why. Jess says, Eric, out of all the YouTubers, you're my favorite YouTuber and friend. Oh, thank you very much, Jess. That really means a lot. And by the way, Jess, in case I've not been responding to your questions as much on Patreon, because you've been DMing me a lot for several months, the reason I've not been doing it lately is because I can't do it. Is because you guys have seen how much videos I've done. Just look at my videos on my channel that got uploaded recently. It's like every couple of days I'm uploading a new video. I'm just so busy, so I don't have time to give you a detailed answer. So that's what these live streams are really meant to be for. So when you do ask me those questions, I can answer them here. Trevor Bistro says, the original Black Christmas or the original Halloween? I wasn't a big fan of either, to be honest, but I will say the original Black Christmas, I was definitely more of a fan of its style that it went with. But Halloween is also a classic, but I think it hasn't aged as well. But I will say the original Black Christmas, I was genuinely surprised by how good that was. Deadwall says, Eric, what's your thoughts on the Emoji Movie? I've not seen it, but I've heard everyone say it was terrible. Matthew says, is that Spider-Man 1 versus Spider-Man 2 video ever coming out? It will. We'll see what I do. If it comes out in the same form or comes out in a different form, it will. I apologize that it's taken so long, but yeah, gaming videos, they take a very long time to make, and that's ultimately the reason why I never got round to it. It was tricky to find gameplay footage as well that would work, because, yeah, it just was. Do you prefer Harry Potter or Star Wars? I love them both, but I would say... Depends what mood you're in, because they're both vastly different, but I'll say Star Wars. But I do love Harry Potter, the books and everything. They're fantastic. Jacinda says, what Sherlock character from the BBC show do you wish had been better written? I think they were all fantastically written. Some were reinvented as well, and not by bullshit gender swapping, but they were reinvented, like what they did with Moriarty, making him so weird, and what they did with John Watson's wife. There's a lot of reinventing they've done, even the Sherlock scenario, in terms of him being in... just in terms of him being in the modern world. There is so much they did, and I can't compliment them enough for it, really. Matthew says, what's your overall thoughts on a series of unfortunate events? I've got countless videos where I've talked about a series of unfortunate events, so if you want to know, I put so many hours into those videos combined. Please check those videos out. I've covered all 3 seasons of a series of unfortunate events on Netflix, and I covered the movie that came out with a Versus video, my first ever Versus video. So check those out if you want to know. Oh, is Batman's Gamer leaving now? Let's see. He goes, alright, I gotta go. I'm out of it after that much food. Bye, guys. Bye, Batman's Gamer. What did you have, Batman's Gamer? I'm curious. That makes you this bloated. I'm curious about that. Eric, how does this sound? Your model could be in good shape and it's simple but expressive. That sounds good. Send me whatever you want to send me. Just make sure it's appropriate, okay? That I'm clothed and everything in that. Make sure it's appropriate and expressive. That's it. Like, it doesn't have to be super over expressive, just so long as you're aware what I'm thinking by looking at a certain animated pose. If you know what I mean, yeah. Let's see. Where is Batman's Gamer? He says, I made a pasta with caramelized onions. Ooh. I will say I've never liked onions. I've never liked mushrooms either. I like everything else, though. Let's see. Pasta. That sounds nice, but how could you get so bloated with pasta? That's usually more light. You must have eaten a lot of pasta. Well, I'm glad you had that you enjoyed it and you got bloated with it. That is a good feeling and a bad feeling at the same time when you get really full. So that's great. You had too much. It's delicious, he says. Well, before this stream, I had a pizza. Because whenever I'm done these live streams, it's like my blood sugar goes down. It's like I get thirsty, which is why you can see I've finished this whole jug of water, which I had. I've just got a little bit of drop. Look how much water is left in here. Look. That's it. I've drank this, like, about an hour into the stream, pretty much. So yeah, I was getting very thirsty, and normally when I finish a stream, I get very hungry as well. So yeah, I had a pizza earlier, and we ate a lot of pizza and stuff, and I felt good. Kind of like you, Batman's Gamer. I was literally like you, except I had to get on here and set up a live stream. I had to make the thumbnail, I had to schedule the live stream, I had to then come in, and when you see all of these, you know, when I go through these screens, I had to make all of these and basically like prep all of them. And yeah, all of that while I was full of pizza. That feeling that you have. Guido or Guido? I don't know. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Guido, I'll call you, says, what pizza? It was a Meat Feast pizza. But yeah, Batman's Gamer, you're not the only one, except I was doing a stream while I was bloated like you are. So yeah. And there was also a kebab there as well. So we had pizza and a lot of food, basically. Yeah, that was fun. That was nice. And we're watching my favourite show called Orville on Disney+. It's a show that I love. It's a Star Trek show, essentially. You know, not from Paramount, but it's like a great Star Trek show that they just didn't make. So it's essentially that. And it was really nice to watch that. So, yeah, Batman's Gamer, he says, yeah, man, I feel for you. Well, I feel for you too, because I still feel it. He says, at least neither of us entered a hot dog eating contest like Chris Griffin from Family Guy. Yeah, at least none of us went through that eating contest. There was even an eating contest in Even Stevens that me and my brother watched an episode of recently where they were trying to eat this big burger. And there's a trick. It's basically a trick of eat the whole burger within, I think, a half hour. In that half hour, you can get only one break, they said to the two characters. So what the Lewis Stevens character did is that he went in, him and his friend both had dressed up, because they're too young, they dressed up with a mustache and a beard and everything. And then they went into the restaurant, they ordered the huge burger, they ate half of it, and then that kid went to the bathroom where his other friend, dressed up in the same get-up like he was, went to the bathroom, his other friend came back and says, alright, now I'm going to finish the other half, like he was, and he had not eaten anything. That was hilarious, that was, but yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, where are you? Batman's Gamer, that's what I did, and, yeah, it's a very funny little eating contest thing, but yeah, back in the day, there were so many of these eating contest episodes in kid shows, or movies as well. And it was fun. Hi Puffy Amiyumi had an eating contest. I swear the original Teen Titans had an eating contest somewhere. Must have been between Beast Boy and Cyborg. So yeah, there's a lot of eating contest stuff going on in that stuff. Those were the days. They don't do that as often anymore, at least I don't think. But yeah, thank you very much, Batman's Gamer. That was nice to relate to you on that level of being bloated. When I'm done with this, I'm probably gonna have a green tea or something. But I need to relax after this, not do any work. Deadwolf says, I had spicy chicken wings and they burned my mouth. Yeah. Matthew says, have you ever seen Rob Zombie Halloween movies? Yes, I have. The first one I liked. The second one, I didn't love it, but I liked it, the first one. Second one was just a headache. So much screaming, so much noise. It was irritating. So yeah, Batman's Game, if you're not here anymore, because I'm more awake now after I just cried of dying of laughter. Oh, really? That's good. Maybe you can stay on the stream a bit more, because I am going to end the stream in about 10 minutes. When the stream hits 2 hours, then I'll end the stream. So maybe if you want to stick around for that, then you can head off like I will be. Sarah says, sounds amazing. And she goes, alrighty, finished my math with less than stellar reviews. Oh, really? How do you know? Don't you have to hand it in? Or is it like online is it done? And you have to then do you get scored? Is that what it is? And just another reminder, guys, like I said, this is going to go off today. And yeah, so basically wherever we are on that line that you can see right there, it'll be gone. So if you want to get a bonus Edward Scissorhands review in the next couple of days, all you got to do is do that. Get that bar all the way across, because then I'm going to get that bar down by the end of the stream. Where is the message from Big Bash? Eric, is it okay if I send the pictures of your character model through a business email, Eric? Yeah, that's fine. Go over to my YouTube channel, go to About, and you should be able to find my email right around there. You got to click to make sure you're human, that kind of thing first. And then you can see my email there and you can send it to me. Deadwolf says, gotta go. See you next week Sunday. No problem, buddy. Take care. Robin says, will you watch Wicked? I'll try at some point, but not right now. Let's see. Sarah says, watch Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors. I do want to watch that movie at some point, and I will, and I'll try to do a watch along with it. So you can watch me live, watch the movie, we can watch it together. So we'll try to do that. Khan says, Eric, I just noticed that usually time shadows would stop you and pay through Streamlabs to make you stay longer in the stream, but now he's not here. What happened to him? The time shadow, I think maybe he's busy, but yeah, that is a good question. I realized that last week, that time shadow was not here. I don't know, maybe he's busy. Maybe that's what it is, because time shadow would always chat to me all the time. So yeah. Yeah, I do miss them. I love it when all of you guys are here. If I can find the one time, because I know there's a time difference, but if there's a way I could just find when all of you are online, despite the time differences of where we are all around the world, that would be great. Because I always do these streams later than I would personally want to. But the reason I don't is because this is where, so far, I feel like a lot of you usually are. I've, grown a relationship with you guys over this time, so I've always stuck to this. But yeah, it's still, yeah, I need to find a way to get all of you here at once. Guido says, I hated Red 1. Yeah, I was not I've not seen it, but from what I can tell, I would not be a fan. It sounds like everything I don't like about a Dwayne Johnson movie is in that one film. Oh, Batman's Gamer, that's very nice of you. He's done another $2 super chat. Has Streamlabs still not working, by the way? Or has it fixed itself? I'm curious. Batman's Gamer says, did you watch the Lilo and Stitch teaser trailer yet? I did. I like the teaser trailer because this reminded me of old school teasers. Even Lilo and Stitch back in the day had a very basic teaser trailer, the original animated movie. So it was cool to see that. It was very cool. But they say it's live action, but that whole trailer was CGI. So it's like we're just watching another CGI version of the movie. So we're getting Moana, we're getting Moana live action, How to Train Your Dragon live action, Lilo and Stitch live action. I really don't like all this live action stuff, and we're getting Mufasa. Streamlabs works. I'm just bombs at the moment. What does that mean? And that's good if it's working. If it's working, it means you can go to Streamlabs to donate again. So that means that if you want to get that bar across, like I said, it's possible. We're not that far off either, just to get to 130. Trevor Bistro says, see my comment, Eric. Oh, where is it? What is it? Do you think the original Black Christmas had more scarier phone calls than Scream? I have to watch it again. I can't remember. It was more eerie, I'd say that. But Scream was more mainstream entertainment the way it did it. Like, you could hear him clearly. But there's something about Ghostface at the time. Ghostface now is someone who you have fun when you look at his costume. But when I saw that first movie, his costume was new and I was young. So watching the movie then, it was genuinely scary because he wasn't an icon to me when I saw the first movie. He became one, but not at the beginning. So watching him in the first 3 movies to me would really give me jump scares. Like, it's like you would genuinely fear when he would pop up. But then after that, by the time the 4th movie came around, you were anticipating when he would show up because you just, you liked watching him do his stuff. But originally in the first 3 movies, you cared about the characters and you were afraid when he would pop up. Good Time says it means broke where I'm from. Okay then, fair enough. Yeah, well, if anyone else wants to fill up the bar, then they can use Streamlabs. It should work then. The G Gamer says, "Is there actors that you used to love, but you think the fame got to them and their acting got worse?" Well, I don't know if I loved this actor, but I thought Gal Gadot did a good job in the first Wonder Woman, but then she got terrible as an actress. I don't know what happened. She's just bloody awful. The 2 movies that I saw, the 1-2 punch of the movies that I saw, where I was like, she's a terrible actress, was what was that other Dwayne Johnson movie that she was in with Ryan Reynolds? That was another Red something. Was that Red Notice? Red Notice, was it? Yep, it was Red Notice. Thank you, Batman's Gamer. And Raymond, thank you as well. And Khan. But yeah, it was Red Notice and Wonder Woman 1984. That was the 1-2 punch where I was like, man, she cannot act. Like, I don't know what is happening. And yes, as Robin points out, let's not forget about her supporting a genocide. Yeah, that exactly was another reason why I couldn't stand her. And not to mention that she actually was in the IDF, so most likely she ended up, blasting kids as well. So it wasn't just, just her saying I support them. It's her actually doing it as well, most definitely. I don't know for sure, but most likely she did. Especially how heartless they are towards all of the children and stuff in real life when they hear about it. Jess has done a $2 super chat, and yes, that's another reason why I couldn't stand her, but I'm sure there must be another actor. I don't know, I gotta think about it. Jess says, what if The Rock played Knuckles, not Idris Elba? I would not like it. It would just sound like The Rock, wouldn't it? Do you know what's bad about The Rock? Do you know what? I will say The Rock. Where was your question exactly? Yes, buddy, an upper torso, like, basically, I'm wearing clothes, so you don't see the belly button, but yeah, the torso, basically, yeah. That would be cool. What was I gonna say? Yeah, but The Rock, you could say is another one, Dwayne Johnson, because at the beginning when he was in movies, like in Fast and Furious 5 is when I saw him. He was in The Mummy as well, which he was good in, but he was also in Fast and Furious, he was also in the Voyager show as well. But he was in Fast and Furious 5, and I thought he was very good in that. He was really good in that. But then after that, he lost whatever he was doing, and he just became The Rock we know now, and he's like the same cringy actor, a person who can't act. He's just weird in real life as well, in terms of the things that he says and does and everything. He's just... Yeah, I just can't stand The Rock right now. It's like he's really become a big meme. You can't take him seriously as a person no more. You can tell it's all an act, a facade that he's putting on. And he thinks so much of himself. Especially what he did in the wrestling game. I don't watch wrestling, but I felt everyone's pain with what he did. Like, he genuinely thinks he's the person that can make stuff better. There was even one point where he said about the actor that plays Joker, when he was promoting, he was either promoting Black Adam or he was promoting Jungle Cruise. I think he was promoting Black Adam, and he goes to the actor that played Joker, whose name is escaping me right now, even though I know it normally. He said about him, he says that, oh, I know him, he's great, and then there's an interview where he talks about saying that, yeah, I wish him the best for being in the Batman, that universe, and he goes, hope it works out well, and he goes, hey, not Joaquin Phoenix, the Batman, Matt Reeves universe, that actor playing Joker, and he goes, hey, if it works, he goes, hey, if it's, I hope everything works out. And he goes, Barry Keoghan, that was it. He goes, yeah, I hope everything works out. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, you can come here. Meaning you can come to Black Adam, the Black Adam universe. It was quite pathetic. And as G Gamer says, Black Adam bombed hard. So the fact that he thought over Batman, like Black Adam was going to be a bigger thing, like you can come over here with us, was so ridiculous. And so it really shows how big his ego is. And recently he made the comparison of watching Oppenheimer in IMAX. He said after watching that, I was like, oh my god, if Red One came into IMAX and were able to watch it with this technology, it would be game over. Like, he's really ridiculous with this stuff that he does. Alright, so we got another super chat. But yeah, The Rock playing Knuckles Jess, that would suck. That really would. I would not want that. And then we got Batman's Gamer, who's done us $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Batman's Gamer. I really appreciate another super chat. Thank you. Who's Barry Keoghan, that his second name, Batman's Gamer. Okay, Batman's Gamer's other super chat is, you guys watch Batman Beyond Year 1 fan film yet? No, I've not seen the Batman Beyond Year 1 fan film. You know what? Let me search it up here on my screen. Batman Beyond Year 1. Ooh, that looks kind of fun. It says a month ago. When did the fan film come out? 2 weeks ago. Cool. Okay, I'll give it a watch. Okay, I'm curious. You've got my attention, Batman's Gamer. I'm very curious to give that a watch. Robin says, thoughts on the Astrid casting controversy? For me, I can see where the controversy comes from, because I said there's no problem in saying that that I don't like the fact that a black actor is playing a white character, and vice versa. I don't mind that. Other people try to just say you're a terrible person for wanting that, but it's an understandable thing to me. I don't get why we have to take something like that and just turn it into racism, which it isn't. That being said, I don't mind the actor, because she looks light-skinned, so that's fine. I don't like the fact that she's not blonde. They should have made her blonde. Why didn't they make her blonde? It was a simple thing. Give her a wig, dye her hair, whatever you want to do, temporary dye, whatever it is. Just, that's all they had to do, and they didn't do it. Everything else is trying to match the animated movie so much. Even the main actor they got to play Hiccup looks like a very good choice. But they didn't do the blonde hair, and people are not happy with it. I think they would have been much happier if they gave her the blonde hair, but they didn't. What are you saying? Khan says the other didn't give blonde hair to the other characters. What do you mean? Big Bash says, I can't wait to get started on your character model, Eric. I draw in my spare time, and this will help me use my talents to help your channel grow. It will, and it could, yeah. It's an idea on my part, and if the idea does not grow my channel, that's on my part, not on you. But I will say, if I do end up using it, it means that you've done it to the level that I am very happy with. We might have to go through revisions or something, but it would be really fun, I think. Could be fun. I hope it's not stressful on you. I hope you are having fun doing it as well. But yeah, that would be very exciting. I am very excited, and thank you, Big Bash, for taking that on. You've sent me some interesting images in the past, you did. It was you, wasn't it, on Instagram, who sent me images. Was it Ben 10 images? What was the images? There were some animated-looking characters. Batman's Gamer says, I just saw a YouTube poster about Blade featuring both Wesley Snipes and Mahershala Ali as Blade. Sounds super fake. It probably is. Big Bash says Ben 10. Yes, it was Ben 10, yeah. And those were great. You did those, didn't you? I think I said they looked really good. Marcus, take care. Thank you for joining the stream, buddy. Khan says, I heard that Marvel are trying to make Blade a multiverse film now. Yeah, all I can say is, what the hell? We can say that about everything they're doing. They really just have no clue what they're doing, do they? Trevor Bistro says, Tarantino or Scorsese? Tarantino. I've not seen so many of Scorsese's movies. I've seen quite a few, but not all of them. I think I've seen pretty much all of Tarantino's, except for a few. I think I've not seen 3 of his movies, maybe. 2 or 3. Let's see. Sarah says, what model? Well, Sarah, what's happening is that I wanted to have, like, animated drawings of myself to put in my YouTube videos, so instead of inserting myself into the video, I can insert an animated character with various different poses. Big Bash has said that he can do it, and I was like, okay, cool, and he's gonna take that task on, he says, after this stream is over. So that's what we're talking about when we say model. We're not talking about supermodels or anything, we're talking about my model. Matthew says, what would you give The Last of Us Part 2 from a 1 to 10? I've not played The Last of Us Part 2. I was going to get it for full price on day 1, but then when I heard what happened, I didn't buy it at all. I watched about 3 hours of gameplay, I think, 2.5, 3 hours, and I thought, if I'm into it, I'll buy the game. If I'm not, I won't, and I wasn't into it at all. So then I thought, alright, you know what, forget it. So I've not played it. The first one to me is the only one, and it's fantastic. I've still got it on there on my shelf. You can see the Steam Deck covering it, but I've got a whole catalogue of PS4 games right around over there. Robin says, have you heard of Dwayne Johnson's new biopic movie with A24? I have. He's got hair in that image. It's to do with a wrestler, isn't it? And Emily Blunt is in that movie as well. That he's his co-star in that. We'll see how he does, because he can actually be a proper actor in that film. And it's being directed by one of the Safdie... Not Safdie... It was one of the Safdie brothers, was it? Am I thinking of the right people? I think it is. One of the Safdie brothers is directing it. So we'll see how it goes. I haven't seen the final season of Arcane yet, Rohan. I've forgotten a lot of season 1, so that's kind of, making me not want to see it. Next thing I want to see is for my own entertainment, I really do want to see the next season of Cobra Kai. I haven't seen the 5th... I think we're on the 5th season. I've not seen that yet. I need to see that. I also need to see Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, the final season of that, before I move on to the show that came after Camp Cretaceous when they were older. The Logman says, how would you rank the live-action Jokers? Heath Ledger... Joaquin Phoenix, Jack Nicholson, and then I'll say Barry Keoghan and Jared Leto right at the end. Oh, and Cesar Romero, I've not seen enough of him to really put him in there, so I'm sorry to say I don't think it's fair for me to judge him in that list, but he definitely comes before Jared Leto. Trevor says, I'm getting so tired and exhausted with the multiverse stuff, especially in the MCU. You and me both, buddy. Really getting sick of it. Batman's Gamer says, make a versus video on Camp Cretaceous Season 1 and Chaos Theory Season 1. I don't know. Batman's Gamer, that sounds like a lot. It means I have to watch both seasons. The first season again and the second season. I don't know if I will do that. I'd like to, if there's a way I could just manage to do it without, using a lot of time. Oh, good. Batman's Gamer says, I'm kidding. That's good. That would take a long time to do something like that, and I don't even know if it would catch on. Elite says, I saw Angry Joe's The Last of Us Part 2 review that you recommended, and it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was a very good review that echoed a lot of our sentiments towards that game. Raymond says, got a book. Take care and see you next time, Eric. That's no problem, buddy. In fact, I'm going to leave now as well, so thank you very much, all of you. It's always a pleasure talking to all of you guys. I love the love. I love the support. Love all of you. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for supporting me on this channel. Thank you as well. I really hope you guys can all become, when you can, and it's convenient for you guys, I really hope you can become patrons as well. Because like I said, I've got a lot of content coming there. And I would love for this community that I get every week on the live streams to get it on Patreon. That would be like the dream, to have all of you move from here to there. So that's what I really hope, is like eventually we have our own little community up there. So I hope eventually I hope you guys will be able to do that when it's within your means. But right now, I treasure these weeks every time we come to these live streams every week to chat. Love all of you. Can't wait to do the next stream when we do it. Hopefully there's more stories that come out. And yeah, thank you a ton, everyone. And I'll catch all of you next week. Take care.